Gosh. Gosh, gosh, gosh.
Okay, we've got Greg back here again today, Greg Neville, who's sharing his time with us to talk a little bit about spirituality today, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Who do you want to talk about? Tell me, come on. Who do you want to talk about? We'll do it. We'll do it that way. Like. There's many philosophers out there. There's many gurus
Yep.
out there, etc.
Hmm.
I will say one thing: don't fall for the mistake, right, of thinking that the person who stands up on the podium in front of you and goes to talk to you and is classified as a guru, never fall for the mistake of thinking that because they're up there, they're accurate.
Yeah, good point.
Right? That's the one thing you don't do. They don't get up there because they're accurate.
True, true. Yeah, look,
Right?
I
So,
remember when
very
I
important.
first met you, Greg, and I went to your little weekend seminar thing in Sydney. I, at the time, was really into meditation and really into some of the work by Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him. We discussed earlier.
Ah! Go
Eckhart
on.
Tolle. Well, I was really into it, and I'd read his books, and I'd even listened to like an audio book about how to practice what he'd preached. And obviously, as you and I would know, I was having a lot of trouble doing that. But I was hoping we could open up a little bit on some of the philosophies that are out there in society, and I think Eckhart Tolle would be a great place to start because he's kind of, well, he got voted the most influential spiritual person of modern times. So, and he sold millions and
I
millions of
wonder.
books.
Yeah, I wonder if he would look into the reasons why. You'll
Mm,
see why I say that later. Um, yeah. First off, meditation, fantastic,
cool.
right? So you mentioned meditation a minute or two ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to start by saying meditation is great. So we'll move that to the side and
Hmm.
we'll put Eckhart Tolle on the other side, right?
Okay,
Yeah, you don't want to get them confused up.
true. It's true.
Okay,
One's a
one's full of rubbish,
philosophy,
the other one's
one's
quite, yeah,
an
one's full
actual
of
thing.
rubbish, the other one's quite okay.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right. Yeah. Boy, am I going to get into trouble for this one.
Yeah, well, we both might. Let's get into
Yeah,
it though.
you can say that something's not correct as long as you explain why.
True. True.
Okay, if you're going to explain something's not correct and you don't put a why in there, why would you say it's not correct? It'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And I have to
Right?
say,
So,
there are some things in Eckhart Tolle's philosophy that they sound nice. Um,
yeah,
but then there's these contradictions I see in there that just, yeah, make me, if I had hair, I'd pull it out when I hear some of the things now,
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at it
Well,
with
you do
different eyes.
realize, yeah, that's right. Well, you do realize that in a great deal of the spiritual stuff out there, there is accurate spirituality, but in a lot of
Yeah.
the spiritual stuff out there, what they've actually done is they've got a whole lot of jargon, and in there they place a few really nice lovey-dovey words.
Yeah,
And
right.
because people see the lovey-dovey words, they go, oh, the whole thing must be accurate.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, the whole thing's contradicting itself, but they
Yeah,
can't see it yet,
sure.
right? Their level of understanding of the whole categories, life, things, etc., cause and cure, stress, all of that, doesn't allow them to see the contradictions. When you do, well, you spend your time laughing at it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What I do with my students is I give them a clicker, a little clicker,
Right.
right? And I get them to, I pull a book from anywhere, and we put it down in front of them. And what they've got to do is every time they see a contradiction, they've got to click it.
Right.
Yeah, the ones with the most clicks are the most advanced.
There
I'm
you go.
serious.
No, that makes
On most
complete
of the
sense.
reading, on the most of the stuff written out there nowadays, the more clicks you can find in it, the more advanced you actually are.
Mm, mm.
And that is a fact,
Yeah, that would be true, huh? Okay.
right? People find that strange, but after they start to gain a greater understanding of what's really happening, they see what I just said there is very true.
Mm.
Now, all right, Eckhart Tolle. All right.
Do you want me to give
Okay.
a little
What do you?
intro about Eckhart Tolle,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
he's all
yeah,
about?
yeah. Give a little bit of an idea what you think it's about,
Okay.
right? And but I will say something at the start. I'll just say one thing at the start. Ever heard the phrase "throw the baby out with the bathwater"?
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard that.
Right. See if you can work out where that applies to his concepts. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Now everyone knows that's a bloody stupid thing to do, right?
Mm.
But see if you can understand where that concept fits into his work.
Okay. All right. Well, my understanding of his work is that he talks a lot. Well, his book was called The Power of Now. So he's very much time orientated about having some sort of present awareness of each passing experience.
That's a great idea.
But then I think it all starts to get a little bit messy when you start talking about the ego and the observer as being these two separate entities. He talks about the ego, and then he talks about, but then you are the observer of the ego, some sort of separate entity. And I start thinking, well, that's all coming from the brain. I don't know, it leaves me feeling a little bit confused.
Let's go back prior to that. Let's leave ego to a little bit later, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a classic to talk about. Right? But talk about his other stuff. What's his main concept about living in the now?
Well, if you can just remain in the present moment, you're stressed about the past, you're stressed about the future, won't be there. Like he's basically saying, forget about the past, forget about the future, just focus on right now, and everything will be okay.
Okay, right? One thing. There's one thing to do though first, right? Anyone who says that, which I've done many times, meaning I haven't said it, but for many people who have come along and said it, right? What you do is you ask them one question to start with.
Yeah, I know.
How long's now? Am I allowed to think about what we're going to do for tea? Right. Okay. Oh, got to pick my kids up. Nah, don't worry about that. That's in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it all. But it takes me 20 minutes to get there. Oh, okay. So when I talk about living in now, right, you go, okay, how long is now? Every time I've ever said that to them, they're blah, 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 it suddenly pulled a rug out from somewhere. Right?
Sure.
But anyway, so forget about that part, the how long's now. Let's get into the other stuff. He's right. We can be stressed about the past. We can even be stressed about now.
Sure.
And
that's a good point, yeah.
We can be stressed about the future.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Now, what's his principle? What's his concept?
Yeah, his principle is if you can just maintain attention on this moment, the now, you won't have those concerns anymore. Is that right? That's
a great idea. Let's have a look at that. What is now? Because remember,
it's an experience. It's an experience.
No. Better one. Let's do it this way. It's all about time, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is time? So if they're going to talk about time, the first thing we're going to do is talk about what time is. Man, this is how the rug got pulled out.
Yeah.
What is time?
Time is a measurement of each passing experience, isn't it? Or
very good. So time is what?
A measurement.
Of?
Experiences. It's experience. No. Yeah.
And what is? Hold on. What is experiences?
Data. Anything happening in this.
Happening. Very good. Called activity.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah. That would.
Activity. That's what experiences are. They're actually the data. I'll do it this way. It's activity. That's what experiences are.
Yeah.
They're events. What are events? Events are things happening. So time is a measurement of activity.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That sounds good.
That's right. So in other words, he's already contradicted himself. Because what does he claim? What does he also claim?
Go on. What does he claim?
I shall read it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. This is what he says. Let's have a look through here. Let's find some stuff. Man, there's so much here. Right, let's see. Here's a little bit. You become aware, you become of the now itself. Stillness in everything happening. Man, contradiction. Okay. So, you are the deep undercurrent of stillness. Nothing. There's nothing there. Right? So,
yeah.
Basically, he's saying stillness. What does stillness mean? Stillness means no activity. Right. He's not aware that now is time there's activity happening.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Right? So this concept of nothing happening, it's not reality.
Sure.
All right. So there's a contradiction in itself. All right. But really, what he's really about, have a go at what you think he's really about. You're on track, but I thought I'd better put that point in or we might get off track.
Well, looking broader, I would say he's about trying to find peace of mind. He's trying to show a way that people can be okay with life, but
Yeah.
I don't think he really understands how he's obtained it, and he doesn't really know how to explain it to other people. So it all gets messed up.
Yeah. Basically what it is, you've got no idea what he's talking about. Right? It's like saying, we're going to fix this car, this broken motor, by completely overlooking the fact it's got a motor.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to fix this motor. We're going to fix this car, right, by not thinking about it.
Yeah, sure. Let's just forget about it, and then we don't have a problem.
yeah, this thing, it exists, right, we're going to forget it doesn't exist, and that's how we're going to fix it. See, we're going to throw a baby out with bathwater.
Yeah, okay, sure.
See where that comes in?
I haven't dropped the big word enlightenment yet as well, because he claims to be enlightened.
He's
in the sense of like a Buddha enlightenment type thing, where they have this sudden, lifting to the higher realm or whatever.
Yeah, he's not actually enlightened. He's turned a switch off. Nothing's there.
Yeah, sure.
Right, that's what he's saying. Nothing's there.
Yeah, true.
All right? In other words, see, where he's coming from a good component. There's one component he's really coming from. See, what he does is he's basically stating the reason why we're stressed about the past and worried about the future, right, is that the events that happened in the past are stressing us. And he's going, the reason why they're stressing us, we've got our identity connected to them.
Yeah, that's right. I have heard him say that, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's good. But actually, it needs to go deeper than that. See, it's not just identity. What it really is we have our value connected to them. Right, remember a few weeks back, we spoke about the cause of stress, and we showed the if you're good, you'll get, and all that sort of stuff, right? And we showed that due to society's foundational philosophy of the if you're good, you'll get, which you see everywhere, which means you've got to live up to certain criteria in order to show us that you are worthy, valuable, you are worthy of receiving your requirements for development.
Yep.
Right? Everyone go back and have a look at that, right? What's really going on is people are walking around believing that their value is being threatened by whether or not they can live up to certain criteria that proves them worthy, valuable of receiving. So what's happening is, yes, people are walking around concerned about identity, but what and identity means what am I known by?
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, but connected to that, the reason why they're worried about that is because it's a case of they're really worried about that they may have an identity where it's seen that it's perceived that their value is decreasing, that they're not valuable.
Yeah.
And it's going to miss out. So that's what's behind it. Now, so he's using the word identity, but not going deep enough to see that it's about value. And with that, yep, that's correct. Right? So what he says is don't think.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Don't think.
Sure.
Right?
Quieten the mind.
He may not be quite aware that approach has the potential on certain people to get them with cancer.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure. Yep.
Especially skin cancer.
For sure. I can see
we
that straight away.
explained cancer, and we explained cancer last week, didn't we?
That's right.
To a point. Right?
Yeah.
There's long amount
We
of time
haven't really
had.
spoken
All right.
about image much at this point either. So that's a good point.
Yeah, that all comes later as we were going along. Okay, so what's going on is, right, he's accurate in respects to the fact we stress about events that happen. And what he's trying to say is he's trying to say that don't connect yourself to the events.
Yeah.
All right? And he's saying that the way to do that is don't have a self.
Sure.
Don't have a self. Don't think. You're not connected to it. You're nothing. Pretty well. That's what he's saying.
Or everything as well. He says sort of
or you're the stillness of nothing, really, type of thing. If he puts an end to you're everything, whatever. It is so confusing. In fact, it's bullshit.
Yeah, well, I think that's why everyone's like, huh?
Yeah. And it's not only bullshit. They're not aware that it reinforces the underlying concepts that are at the seat of people's stress. Right? And the brain doesn't even work that way, which I'll show you in a moment. Now, so, like I say, he's got down there, what you do is you become aware of the stillness in everything that's happening. Right? You are it. You are the stillness. You are the deep undercurrent of stillness. Crap. That's just the most ridiculous. I mean, I'm not surprised people believe that.
Sure.
You want to know one reason why a lot of people go, oh, that's so good. You know why?
Why?
Why might they think that is so deep and good?
Well, it kind of reinforces the original philosophy of, you know, you once knew, you just got to reconnect, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And where's that come from?
The whole idea of free will and the whole idea...
Yes. That is at the core of it. That's what's going on here. See, what trying to think of another part there before we actually do it, get into... Yeah, right. See, you are seeking yourself, you are simply the things that happen in the past. Okay, see, what he's doing is, you'll hear him use these examples too. He will say that the idea is to get to a point you're not thinking, and you'll be fine.
Sure.
Right? And he goes, and that's what you do. You can be walking around not thinking. Okay? And he'll go, right, he goes, like down at the very bottom here, he goes, the power comes, okay. He goes, what will happen is when you stop thinking, right, and assessing and thinking and all of that, the power will come through you.
Yes, yeah. I have heard that part as well.
And that will have you doing, right? But there'll be no thinking. And you know how he backs it up? He'll get someone who's just done some heroic thing, and you know, and I'll go, how did you get that courage to run back? And the person in the moment will go, I don't know, I just did.
Yeah.
And he goes, see, there was no thinking, there was no assessing, there was no... That is rubbish.
That's so true.
But they'll use that, right? What they're not aware is, right, when you later sit down with that person, right, and you give them time and you go through and you start asking questions, you find out why they ran back into the fire. Yeah. In fact, they will say no courage was involved at all, and they will mean it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it took no courage whatsoever to run back into the fire. And they'll say that. And then they'll give their reasons.
Yeah.
For example, if I didn't run back into the fire, I couldn't live with myself.
Yeah, that could be one, shouldn't it?
Right? They'll say it didn't take courage. I could not run back into the fire because of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, another one that doesn't run into the fire will turn around and say, I could not have run into the fire because, well, I've got a family, I've got kids, etc., and if something had happened to me or, you know, whatever, and I put myself at risk, no, I couldn't do it.
So they're based on beliefs, not some sort of...
Of course it is. Of course it is. We spend I'm a therapist. I spend my life friggin' analysing people, getting to the reason why they actually do things.
Yeah, 100%.
Getting down to it, right? But he's never done that. So he's sitting back going, no reasoning, no this, no that, just the power. Power will come. Do you know you cannot do an action in your whole lifetime that is not governed by reasons? Sure. It is impossible.
Yeah, for sure.
And you do remember back in our one a few weeks ago, we actually displayed that free will doesn't exist. We actually showed that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
definitely check that out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, we covered the two different definitions of free will, what they are, and then we tested it. We actually tested, do people have free will? We tested it on you. Haha.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Couldn't do it, could you?
No, I couldn't.
No, that's right. Every client that comes through, I literally have to prove on them that they are governed by their reasonings. None of them. I have never had one person ever, no matter how much they come in here saying they've got free will, when we explain what it is in two different definitions, right, they literally cannot do it. The brain works by neurons. Morons. Shouldn't say that. That was terrible.
Oh, it's okay. I understand. You're right.
Right?
You can't do an action without using your brain. So
yeah. Now, the other thing that's going on, right, is that, I'll just do assessment in a moment, but so his concept's coming from the idea that, see, I should do this. The foundations of his concept come from the concept of free will. And free will basically says nothing governs you. Nothing governs you. You had choice. You could have chosen to have acted different than you did at that moment, meaning nothing governs you. Okay? And so under the concept of nothing governs you, it's very easy to hold the concept of nothing governs you.
Yeah.
Right? You can do actions without anything governing it.
Yeah.
Many call it react. You don't react to anything. The brain works really quick. It assesses and responds very, very, very quickly.
That's a good point. A lot of people don't think that, this is all happening without my awareness. Like that sort of voice you hear in your head when you're problem solving, it's happening well before then, but just by analyzing and identifying things.
Let's do this one, right? How can you react to an event, okay, without first acknowledging the event?
Yeah, you'd have to identify what the hell it was.
That it is an event.
Yeah.
And what's that done with? What's the assessment done with?
Yeah, obviously your brain. So.
Your beliefs.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't react to an event without holding the conclusion there is actually an event.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And to hold the view there's an event, that's done by your brain. It's done by your belief systems, right, assessing the data that's coming in via, right, your senses. Right, okay. So in other words, the idea of we just react or you can do an action without belief systems involved is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? They have no idea, right, of it. But because they've been taught that we have free will, which means you can do something without being governed, right, it just fits well into that model. The problem is they really don't know what they're doing. Yeah. Their understanding of what's going on is very little.
Sure. I think that's a good point.
But I will say this. Of course, they get away with it because they think, no, we're being metaphysical here, right? And we're being spiritual, so we're well surpassed all that.
Yeah.
In actual fact, their understanding of spirituality is extremely limited at that point.
Yeah.
Right? It's just very limited. I'll put it this way. Very immature, very insufficient.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Now, your whole world in understanding spirituality and what life's about has a big shift when you understand that we have reasons for why we do things. When you understand that the concept of free will is actually incorrect. And it's easy to prove on every person. Very easy. Do it all the time. Right? So when you get past this concept that reasons don't govern us and all that, when you get past that, wow, life takes a different spin for you.
For sure.
Means a different thing. You can actually understand why you're so valuable then, and why everyone else is too. Anyway, now, so that's where his things are coming from. The underlying concept that free will exists, etc., etc. That's what it's all founded upon. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so why would you look for reasons when you think that there are no reasons for people doing things? But now, so with that concept, of course they're going to turn around and go, power can come through you and have you acting out certain ways and there's no thinking involved.
Yeah, like an artist might say, this creativity came through me. Even an artist would be using their beliefs and memories and whatnot when they're creating a piece of art or music, wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just looking for another thing where we're going with this.
There's one thing I'd love to say while you're having a look is even enlightenment, I guess, would the idea that you could somehow have this epiphany and know all get sort of the whole need for development in life. That's sort of... Yeah.
The enlightenment's a wonderful thing, right? I think it's fantastic.
Depends on your understanding of it, right?
Brain's very good for that. meaning it's gaining data from its environment, and the brain has the capability of hooking data together, right? And as it hooks data together, you get a different understanding. And they call that, wow, what an epiphany.
Yes, that's right.
That's alignment. Yeah, that's right. In other words, you're growing. Data's putting data together. It's like putting this. Say you got so many dots on a page and you see a certain picture. Very interesting when you put some more dots on there.
Sure.
Suddenly you see a different picture.
Yeah.
Or it gives you more clarity in that picture too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's what's actually happening. Our brain's there and it's getting data from our environment, and as it puts data together, even the data coming in, it can connect that together, right? But it can also use data that it's got and connect it together, right, with other data it's got that it's received and come up with stuff. But that's still a process. It's called a process of development. We are in a process of development. That is what is going on. So it's not this thing that, oh, yeah, the whole, I mean, can they think of any other reason why they should hate our body? Many people say the brain gets in the way, it's getting in the way of spirituality. You know, you got to get away from the brain in order to be spiritual, or you got to get to a place where the brain's not thinking. And to get to a place where the brain's not thinking, you've got there. Like, no.
Well, unless you're dead, of course, then maybe.
Yeah. So let's do it this, right? Rather than the live in the now, right? See, in the now, you're going to be assessing now. And he's basically saying, no, don't assess now. And you go, but hang on, this guy's running at me with a knife. Right? It's happening now. And he goes, nah.
Yeah, I've even heard him say, like,
you just got your
Sorry.
You just got your identity connected to it. That's the problem. You go, well, this knife's got my name on it.
Yes, that's right.
I can see it.
I've even heard him say, like, nothing that bad can happen in the now. It's such a small. I'm like, yeah, right. Imagine you're being tortured in the now or something like that. You know, it's like, it's pretty silly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I know right now the car hasn't quite hit me. It's got another 4 feet before it hits me.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a good now when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Now,
what about awareness? Sorry.
Where are we going wrong? Where's he going wrong? What's his mate? No, he's got it wrong in that it's come from the concept of free will. That's what's behind it. That's wrong. Add a few more things in there, man, starts to get a bit more correct. But where's the living in the now wrong? Where's it wrong? It's wrong because we're actually still assessing now. So the idea of you can actually be there in the stillness of the now, well, you can't because now is actually full of activity, right? So that's wrong too. But this idea of living the now, I wouldn't do that as a therapist. I would never say to a client, live in the now, right?
Yeah.
Because what does it mean? What does live in the now mean? What also does it mean?
Don't use your brain.
Yeah, very true. But what else does it mean? What is he trying to say?
To be more aware of your environment at the time, I think is another meaning.
Yeah,
to it.
no, well, he is saying that, but our environment is actually activity.
Yeah,
and
right.
He's basically going against the concept of activity.
What else
right?
is there,
so
Greg, that he's saying with that, you think?
Well, right, what else is there? Okay, we've got now, and we've got the past, and we've got the future. We've got those things. So what he's saying is stay away from them. Don't let them be part of the processing. And what he's saying is don't process.
Right.
He's saying don't think. Don't have thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a funny thing because if you actually assess to see if you're not having thoughts, you've got to do that with thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the person goes, yes, I'm there now. I'm not thinking. Oh, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me when I was talking about meditation and just getting into a point where I'm not using my mind anymore and I'm still, but to even know that I was meditating, I'm using my brain.
You must have been
thinking.
Yeah, you must.
So,
to have to hold this conclusion that you're in a space where you weren't thinking, well, you must have been assessing that moment.
Yes.
And that's called thinking. Right. Very confusing. Okay.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is don't use the past. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future.
Sure.
All right. What do we assess now with?
Very good point. So whenever we assess now to be with our beliefs, and they come from the past.
Yeah,
what you're gonna say?
and they also can be in reference to what we think it means about the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so when we're assessing now, we actually involve the past and the future. Right? He's saying, don't do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, but the way he's going to get around it is by not thinking. He's going to do it by not thinking. And another way he's going to get around it is by saying that nothing's really happening now. Right, okay. Weird. Right. Oh, but do remember that a lot of the people think that's really good because of their current spiritual philosophies, where they don't actually understand what now's doing for them, and what their physical body's doing for them, and what their brain's doing for them. They don't understand that wisdom is actually an accurate account of reality. They also don't understand that spirituality is a science of understanding reality, and they yet don't understand that the lessons in wisdom actually define the development process. They're not up to understanding that yet, but they will be. Right. So what would be better than saying to someone, live in the now, and pay us your money for that consultation?
Well, I think they need to be okay about the past. They need to be okay about the future. And then they're going to have the tools to sort of get through life or survive without, trying to kill themselves or whatever it might be.
Yeah, the last part's not quite right, but yes. Okay, first part, very right. The best way to go about it is if you've got any issues about the past, get them fixed.
Yeah.
If you've got any issues about the future, get them fixed. If you've got any issues about now, get them fixed.
Good point.
Right? But we do have a problem. They've tried that. They've been to therapist.
Oh, yeah.
Had their issues.
Yeah, well, if you're seeing, I guess, the average therapist, they might not really get into that nitty-gritty.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. They literally do not go there. They actually say, too, well, there's no reality, and or there is your own reality. And this is not all therapists, for heaven's sakes. We're talking about the ones that didn't fix them, right?
Yeah.
And they're going, I'm not a teacher, I'm a facilitator, and you've already got your answers, which contradicts every lesson in wisdom, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to throw things back at you, and you're going to solve your own problem. And you've got to solve the problem. Also, what's one of your problem is that you don't understand what your value is, and you've got your value connected to the wrong things, like Eckhart Tolle was saying, right?
Yeah.
About egos, right? So what happens is the therapists are there basically providing them with the same philosophy that's already at the seat of their stress.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so I'll bring that back a little bit. I did it pretty fast. So what we're saying is, if you've got any issues about the past, get them fixed. Any issues about the present, get them fixed. And if you've got any worries about the future, get them fixed. So let's have a look at those issues. But looking at those issues, what we've got to do is we've got to look at the underlying foundation philosophies, the concepts, meaning your view on what life's about, that is at the seat of those issues.
Right.
What are we going to find when we have a look at that? What do you reckon we're going to find?
You're going to find some problems there, some incorrect understandings.
Yeah. Which ones? Which philosophies are we going to find at the bottom of it?
Well, definitely you're going to find the idea of free will. You'll find some misunderstandings about how the brain works and how data is coming in and helping us to grow. Yep.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna find the wrong philosophies there. The stuff about go within, you already know. What's happened is you once knew and you become reconnected. Except don't they know it's called the mind-body connection? It's not called the mind-spiritual disconnection through what? Huh?
Sure.
Strange. Right. Okay. So let's go a little bit about ego.
Yeah, I'd love to get into that because he does talk about ego a lot too, Eckhart Tolle. If you can just get in the now and separate yourself from the ego, all that stuff.
Yeah, so see that part there, that was where, which is correct, right? Very correct. He's basically saying is we have our value, you may not know that's what ego means, but we have our value connected to the event.
Yeah.
Right? And that's true, we do. Right? We actually do, right? And so out with the baby again, out with the bathwater, because the idea is they're going to blame ego.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Go get it. Yeah, get rid of ego. Ego's a problem. Put it aside, etc., etc., etc. And how dare you say? Oh, actually, what would you say? Right? What's ego all about? What is ego? Better say that first. What is
Yeah,
ego?
ego. So I guess ego is your understanding of your image and your past experiences and all of those things, how the world sees you.
No,
Am I
you didn't
explaining
use the word
image?
value. You didn't use the word value in any of that. You
Okay.
defined the word image, but not the word
All right,
value.
help me out here, Greg. What's the best way of
Right.
wording it?
Ego is the inclination. Ego is the inclination to possess a sense of self-importance, meaning you're important.
Oh, you're right.
Right? Meaning by that you're important because you are valuable. So
Mm,
it's where they believe they're valuable. All right.
okay.
That's what ego is all about. It's all about the subject of how valuable you are.
Yeah.
Man, we can give that a push every now and again, can't we?
Sure.
I'm valuable. I'm here. Me. I'm here.
Yeah,
Me.
sure.
Right. Why do we do
Like
that?
when they
Why
say
do we?
someone
Why
has
do
a
we?
big
Oh, here,
ego.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we give that such a push? Why? What's behind that? Because
Is
we do.
that the
Or some people do.
philosophy about, we can miss out as well? Yeah.
Yeah, but what's behind that?
Um,
What's behind that? Sound.
like if
You
you're
can
good,
do.
you get. If you're good, you get.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Society's foundation philosophy. If you are good, you'll get. Seat at school, seat at home. If you're good at school, you get a prize. At home, you get a present. At work, you get a promotion. In religion, you go to heaven. Right? We
Sure.
covered that the other week, didn't we? Right.
Yeah.
That's what behind. Because if you're good, you'll get is basically saying you've got to live up to certain criteria. You've got to be good, what we think is good. Right. You've got to live up to certain criteria to prove that you are worthy of receiving. Meaning you're valuable. You've been a worthwhile investment. Right.
Mm.
It's all the valuable stuff. Right. So yes, people are running around, right, with the view that they've got to prove that they're valuable.
Sure.
Okay. So the answer is tell them they're not valuable at all. That's the answer. Now, you got an ego problem. No? Ego's the problem. Put it aside, and exist without ego.
Ah, yeah, right.
That's what they're saying. Meaning they have no idea of what the lessons in wisdom are. They have no idea of what the purpose of life is. Actually, they have no idea of what's actually taking place.
Mm.
Yeah, a bit too close. Hey.
That's all
Now,
good.
too close. All right. Well, let's try it. Let's go. You got kids?
Yeah, I've got a
Yes.
daughter. Yep, one kid.
Beautiful. Right. What I want you to do is I want you to walk up to her and say this. I do not want to catch you ever saying or feeling that you're an important person on this planet. Okay? Never. Ever. If I ever catch you acting like or thinking that you're an important person, ooh, you're in trouble. Yeah. Now, or walk up and say, you are not important. You are not contributing anything. Nothing. You are not valuable in the slightest, because if you think you're valuable, that's your ego, and we've got to put that aside. Oh boy.
That sounds crazy when you say it like that, actually.
Yeah, well, it'll kind of head towards suicide.
Yeah, right.
All right? Under society's, if you're good, you'll get. Okay,
Suicide rates are through the roof, aren't they, at the moment? I mean, you know better than I
and very easy to understand. I think we covered it in the first one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. You're right.
Yeah. We'll do it very quick. We're doing everything very quickly here, aren't we? We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're going pretty well here, I think. 40 minutes in we are.
I think it was 2 hours last week. We won't do it this time.
Yeah, I split it into two. I actually split it up into little chunks, and
I know.
I thought, no, it's better just do it. Let it flow.
No, very, very good. Okay, very, very quickly, due to society's if you're good, you'll get, what that's actually teaching us is if you can't get out there and create something that shows you to be a valuable existence, right, you will not receive your requirements for development and survival, right? So to the psyche, what that means is if your value is dropping, you're heading towards death. Because if your value is dropping, you won't be seen to be worthy of receiving. You won't receive, you die. Yeah. So to our psyche, right, if we believe our value is dropping, which it's not, but if we believe it is, right, we get to a point where our mind goes, okay, I could risk going another day and stuffing something up and my value dropping more, and I can't go near that. I need to get to another place.
Yeah.
I need to get to somewhere where the pressure is off my value. That's called suicide. They're
And
not actually one. Yeah.
That's going on behind the
actually,
scenes. I don't even realize that, right?
Behind the scenes, right? So what's actually going on is they don't want to die. What they're doing is they want to get to another place where their value is protected. It's actually an effort to survive, but they believe they've got to get somewhere else for that to happen. Man, so how important is all this stuff to do with self-esteem and personal value? And the answer is not to throw it out with the baby with the bathwater, all that sort of stuff. That's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't do that. That's not how you fix it. So what's the correct way of fixing it? It is not to walk up to your kids and say, I do not want to catch you thinking you're valuable. Yeah. That ain't the way to do it.
No, you'd need to teach them what their real value is, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. That's the answer. Right, because if you understand what your true value is, it's actually something that's never in jeopardy. Right?
That's a good topic, actually.
Yeah, but what people are actually connecting their value to, and to not their value, right, can be found in jeopardy one day. Like, I'm valuable because I own a house. Oh, they just foreclosed on the mortgage. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Now my value is dropping. I'm valuable because I'm married. Oh, here comes the divorce.
Yeah.
He's dropping.
I'm
valuable because of my career and things. You know.
Sure.
It's quite amazing what people connect their value to.
I see your point now, how that's kind of correct, that Eckhart's pointed that part out, that that can be a recipe for problems.
Yeah, so what did you do? He goes, well, you got to go, right, well, none of you are valuable. That's it. That's the answer. None of you are valuable. But you know what he doesn't understand? Is value is actually the subject. You're valuable because you contribute, meaning you're contributed. What's another word for it? I usually put another one in there. You got something to offer.
Yeah, right.
Right? You're contributing something. Right. So what he's basically saying is you're not contributing. And that fits well with his thing when he says stand back and have a look at the, the stillness of everything happening. Right? What was it? The stillness of, you remember what I said there? Yeah, of everything happening.
Yeah, I think
have a look at the stillness of it. So the stillness of everything happening, he's trying to say that, well, nothing's happening. And very easy if you think nothing's happening to think that, well, you don't have to make a contribution, do you? Because there's nothing actually happening. Right? You're doing nothing because you're part of that. No, you're doing nothing. You're not contributing to anything because there's no activity. Because you got rid of time. You got rid of time. We're in the now. So you can see how it's all sort of mixing in there.
Yeah.
So what's going on is this. He doesn't understand what it is we're doing. He doesn't understand what it is we're doing. Because he doesn't understand what development is.
Sure.
He doesn't understand what personal development is. He doesn't understand what spirituality is. He doesn't understand what spiritual development is and how it happens.
But Greg, he's the most spiritual person in the world.
Sorry. When it comes to understanding spirituality, he has no understanding what spirituality is. None whatsoever. None.
I'd love you to give us your explanation of what spirituality is, because I remember that kind of being a breath of fresh air for me.
All right, let's do it this way. Some people say I've become disconnected from my spirituality. They say that about themselves. They've become disconnected from their spirituality, and life's about reconnecting. Right? Other people turn around and they think that spirituality is this higher thing. The thing that knows everything, right? And I've become disconnected from it.
Yeah. That's a common one.
What they mean by that is I used to once know everything.
Yeah.
They say, I used to once know everything, now I must have forgotten.
If I could just connect to that intelligence.
Yeah, I got disconnected from it. I used to know everything, and I go, how'd you come disconnected from it? Oh, I got kicked out. I ask some people, go, well, what happened? Oh, well, my spirit... My spirit, some say they become disconnected from the spirit, but others go, oh, my spirit got offended. I go, really? Yeah, my spirit got offended. I go, well, if your spirit knew everything, wouldn't your spirit understand that? Wouldn't your spirit know the lessons that would have it not being offended by someone?
Yeah, that's very true.
You know?
Yeah.
And so how'd you forget everything? Oh, I must have had Alzheimer's. Oh, okay. Well, Alzheimer's is a physical thing. Oh, spirituality is not physical, is it? Oh, yeah. They really get lost out there.
Yeah,
This is
sure.
all come. This has all come from the concept of free will. That's born out of that sort
Yeah.
of stuff, right? Okay, spirituality, right? Some people think spirituality is this higher thing, etc., and the physical side's a low thing, right? And some people think the physical side's getting away of spirituality.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
physical body, the physical, that's it. That's your enemy. It's getting in the way of spiritual. Oh, your brain's getting in the way of it too.
Mm.
Oh man, we're going to really hate ourselves after this, aren't we? And all that sort of stuff. All right. Some people think differently than that. They've got different conclusions. Some
Sure.
people go, I'm into spirituality. And people ask them, what do you mean? They go, well, what's life about? What is
Yes.
life about? I'm into that.
Yeah.
What do you go? They go, well, what's happening? What is happening? What is going on? They call that spirituality.
That sounds a lot more correct to me.
It is correct.
Yeah.
Spirituality is the science of understanding reality. Oh my God, spirituality and science together?
But you can't
They're
use your
identical.
brain to understand what
Yeah,
spirituality is,
it's
Greg.
logic. It's logic. It's logic, Spirituality is the science of understanding. Oh my God, understanding. Must have brain involvement in that,
Oh dear.
right? Right? Yeah. Spirituality is the science of understanding reality. Wisdom, same thing. It's a science of understanding reality. The lessons in wisdom define reality. Reality is actually a development process.
Yeah.
Right? And all the lessons in wisdom define all of the aspects of the development process.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, where were we?
Yeah, we're defining spirituality very well.
All right. Let's get back to ego. And we'll see where that comes into it, right? So, ego, we're going to throw it out. I think bring it back in.
Yeah, right.
Right.
With a
So
different understanding.
ego is the subject of how valuable you are.
Yes.
To be valuable, you've got to be contributing. Thank heavens it's a development process, because if it wasn't a development process, we would not be how could you contribute?
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, right. Under the concept of it's simply about reconnecting, and you once knew and you got outcast somehow and you forgot. Well, under that one, it's not about development, it's about reconnecting. You already knew. Right? So under those things, they don't have this thing called development. They have reconnecting. Oh, go within. You already know.
Sure.
I thought we're supposed to be here growing.
Like you'll just have some sort of epiphany and all of a sudden.
Yeah, no. You're just reconnecting. Yeah. Rather than development. Right? Now, so ego, personal value. Why are we valuable? We've got to be contributing. Contributing to what? How do we contribute? We contribute? How do we contribute? Well, we've got to understand one thing. Ever heard the phrase, we grow from our
Life experiences.
experiences? What does that mean? We grow from our life experience. Oh my God, it's got grow in that sentence. It's got from too. It says we grow from our life experiences. What does that phrase mean?
That is the process of development.
Yeah, explain it. Explain the process, because I know you can, but man, I just put it on you, didn't I?
Yeah, pressure's on.
Right now, but we get a lot of therapists coming along, a lot of spiritual people coming along, etc. And when I say we grow from our life experiences, don't we? They all go yes. And I go yes, we do. Very good. Then I very kindly want them to understand that they don't know something, or most don't know something that they need to learn. Right? Oh, there goes the development one again. Anyway, I asked them, explain the process by which we grow from our life experiences.
Okay.
And when you ask them that, they get this beautiful glint in their eyes. Lovely when you see it, but very close, very slowly it disappears. They got this lovely little shine in their eyes because they thought they could explain it. We grow from our life experiences. Sounds really good. And when you say explain it, they think they can. And when I say explain the process by which we grow from our life experiences, I say don't make your answer one that says, well, we have events and learn, grow things, because we're already saying that. We grow from our life experiences. We're saying that. And don't give an example of development. What I want them to do is explain the process by which we grow from our life experiences. They very seldom ever can. The only things they usually give is something that says that we do grow, we have experiences and we learn something. And the other one is they give an example of development, but they don't explain the process of how we grow. So
Yeah, right.
I know you can, so explain the process by which we grow from our life experiences.
Okay, well, as we go through life, we have events which are data to our brain.
Put that in there. Make a big point of that. That's what they don't put in. They don't say that. That's not the point they're doing.
Yeah, I
So what do you mean
definitely
by that?
didn't understand that in the past. So, okay, something happens, an experience, and our brain observes what that is. It takes it all in as data and information, and that,
Hold on. Now, hold on. What I want you to do is the observed point. See, this is where they go wrong. They look at the tree, right? They go, we look at. Okay. Now, which component are they not understanding? Because when they say that, and I show them something a bit later, they go, yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that. What part are they not understanding when they go, they look at?
it's saying that you are in control versus the environment affecting you. So,
Yeah, what they're not yeah, that's right. But that's exactly right. What they're not doing is this. They think they control everything,
yeah, right.
right? They're in control of everything. They control their own development. It's every connect. What they do is they actually forget about the tree, the event, right? They don't realize it's data coming at them.
Sure.
They say, I look at.
They're subjected to
Right.
it.
Yeah, they go, I look at it versus, no, what's happening? You've got your eyes open,
Yeah,
right? And the data is hitting you.
gotcha.
The data is coming at you. And later they go, oh my God, that was right too. I wasn't looking at it that way. I was looking at I look at.
Yeah,
Right? My eyes go over there and hit the object.
that's true.
In other words, they're going, it's my brain. It's all happening in my brain. Many even say, oh, no, the tree doesn't exist. There's no reality. We covered that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah, the tree actually exists. We show how. But anyway, but yeah, it's data coming in. And what does that data do?
Well, that adds up to new understandings. Like all that data
Yeah.
adds up to new understandings, and that's a process of growth and development. You've got a new
Yeah, that's
understanding now.
That's right. So what's happening is we're getting data from our environment, and that data is connecting together with data we got, right?
Yeah.
And that data's right adding up into bigger understandings.
Yeah,
That's about reality, about what is actually out there, right? Now, and do understand, if anyone wants to, go back to the other videos and have a look, and we'll explain, you'll see the explanation on that concept that there's no reality and all this sort of stuff. Man, that's so easy to disprove just by one example. But anyway,
yeah.
so within it, right, the phrase we grow from our life experiences means our environment is developing us, and it also means that it's a process of development. We grow from.
Yeah.
It's showing that life is a development process. Right, now, why is that so important to understand when it comes to egos? Because, right, you've got to understand that before you'll understand the role that everyone's automatically doing and why they're so important. What role are people doing without them knowing it? All the people running around going, go within, you've got the answer within, you've got to go within, and don't let others influence you, and don't influence them. They're not saying that. What's going on that they're not aware of yet?
Well, you mean that they already have value from the role they're playing in other people's realities? Is that what you?
Yeah, so in other words, so what's going on that they don't know about? They're walking around going, go within, you already know, reconnect, and don't let others influence you, and don't influence them. What is taking place whilst they're walking around even saying that?
Yeah, they're developing other people.
Now, do it this way. They are being developed by their environment. So while they're walking around saying, go within, you already know, and don't let others influence you, and don't influence them, and all this stuff, while they're even saying that, they're getting data from their environment that's playing a role in developing them.
Yeah, true.
They're not aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, their understanding yet isn't that big. Now, so not only they being developed by their environment, what are they doing?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
What are they doing? What are they doing? They go, oh, don't influence others, but what are they doing?
They're playing a role in other people's development as well.
Yeah, they're influencing them. Yeah, just like when the teacher says to the counselor, Oh, let's put it another way. Go to a counseling school. One of the first things you get taught at most counseling schools is, students, you are not teachers, you're facilitators. And I love it because the first student puts his hands up and says, thank you, teacher, for teaching me that. Right?
Yeah, right.
And many patients do it too, because many clients do. The counsellor gets it and says, now, I'm not a teacher, I'm a facilitator. And the client very sneakily turns around and says, thank you for teaching me that.
So we're always a student and we're always a teacher, whether we like it or not.
That's exactly right. That is what's happening. Why? Because we've got a brain. It plays a role for us, you know. It's not getting in the way of our development. Now, so back to ego, back to the subject of valuable, back to the subject of why we're all valuable, back to the subject of the role we're performing that makes us so valuable is, what are we doing?
We are becoming data to other people, and that is helping them grow and come to new understandings about life.
Yeah, but what happens if your development isn't very high? How can you be helping people to grow if your development isn't very high yet? How can you do that?
Well, you could be a lesson for incorrect thinking or correct thinking, you know?
Yeah, correct. Right, meaning the bully. I still remember at school.
Yeah.
I can really remember most of the kids who were in my primary class. Geez, I can't wait until senility kicks in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I still remember the bully.
Yeah.
I still remember the shy person. I still remember the teachers and their different views on it.
Sure.
Are you aware that that bully, right, even though the level of development wasn't too good, right, that bully played a role in my journey.
Absolutely.
And that whole process of hearing different people, how they act and the teachers things, that bully was part of it, played a whole role in the process of me learning some wonderful lessons.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. Bully didn't understand that. You know what I didn't understand then? I was playing a role in their journey too.
Yeah, sure.
And their growth. Yeah. How about go to the supermarket? I think we used this example the other day. You're at the supermarket. Got a checkout chick. They're nice, aren't they, checkout chicks? Sorry. Right. Back to the supermarket, right? We're there. Everyone's around. And the person in front of you drops a bottle and smashes.
Sure.
And you hear this, yuck, right?
Right.
But you're there and you go, listen, it's okay, sweetie, it's okay, love. Look, I'm butterfingers all the time too. Listen, I'll tell you what, we'll give you a hand. Everyone sees everyone act differently in that event.
Yeah.
Unaware that they're all data to each other's minds. They're all seeing different ways to act. They're seeing people can have different views, different things. They're not aware that whole experience is playing a role in their growth and development in understanding life. They didn't walk away with a massive epiphany.
Sure.
But they walked away with more data.
They were influenced.
That's adding up. Yeah, that's right. Now, so they're not aware that they, right, are so valuable. They're not aware of the role they're playing. So, let's do it this way. Got a circle. And in that circle, we're going to put a dot for every person that's alive. Come back in a few days. We don't know. Now, so what happens is, see this little dot down here, this person here, right? Yeah. He's got some self-esteem problems, meaning he doesn't think he's valuable. He thinks his value's dropping. Why is he valuable? Doesn't think he is. And others may not think he is, right? So when we say someone's valuable, we're not saying that they believe they're valuable, and we're not saying that everyone else thinks that person's valuable. We're saying they are valuable, and we give the reason why.
Yeah.
Why is that person so valuable? That person there, why is he so valuable?
If he likes it or not, he's playing a role in other people's lives. He's educating them.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That person, whether he likes it or not, every person on this planet, whether they like it or not, doesn't matter. They are all influencing, oh my God, other people.
Yeah.
They are all playing a role. They're all data to other people. Right? That's why they are all valuable. But hang on. He's not allowed to hold the view he's valuable. Why? Oh, he's got an ego problem. Got to get rid of ego. Not allowed to have a sense that you're playing a role, that you're valuable, because ego's getting in the way. No, it's not. The subject of value, the fact that people are playing roles out there and are valuable, is not getting in the way of anything. Value is not the problem. What's the problem? What's the part that's not correct? What's causing the stress? Is ego causing the stress?
No.
What's causing the stress?
What's causing the stress? You mean to do with the issues about the ego?
Yes, meaning ego is not a problem. It's not causing the stress.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, parenting is not causing the stress. What's the
Mm-hmm.
stress?
Well,
What's that come from?
do you mean that they don't actually understand their value? That is the problem? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a word from you.
Sorry.
Parenting's not a problem, but someone's stressed about parenting, right? But parenting's not stressful.
Yeah.
What's causing the stress? The person's that got you.
Beliefs?
The person's beliefs.
Yeah.
Yep, beliefs.
You knew that you got
Right?
me there, I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so with it, right, ego's not the problem. Meaning, in life, the subject of a person's value and the subject of people are valuable, the fact that people are valuable, the role that people are playing, that is not the problem. It's really nice to think about, really. It's a good thing to think about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Right. So out of it, the problem is people's beliefs.
Yeah.
Meaning, they're only up to a certain level of development, and that's appropriate. That's where they were going to be at that point. They're up to that level of development, right? That's cool. That's fine, right? But what happens is people don't understand that. They don't go, oh yeah, well, you're up to that level of development. So now let us actually show you what your value is correctly measured by. Let us show you the role you and everyone else is playing, and that's why we're all the same value, right? Let's show you that. They don't. They go, no, your problem is ego. What you got to do is you got to get rid of ego, and you're not allowed to think you're a valuable person serving any role at all because nothing's happening anyway, mate. Now, how do you feel? And he goes, I'm not feeling much better because this knife is still coming at me.
Yeah, right.
I still have the issues. You haven't cancelled anything. I still have these issues popping into my mind.
Absolutely.
Every time I assess an event, which it seems to be doing, and I can't stop it doing, because I'm still holding the view it's a bloody knife.
That's right.
Right?
Excellent.
Okay, now, we just went through a hell of a lot fairly quickly. Why? Well, we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to do it. Right. But from this, right, what people need to gain from this is that we don't have a brain not to use it. Right? The brain is being used all the time. It is receiving data from your environment, and that data is coming in, and your brain is assessing what that data represents. So when you walk through a park and you see a tree and see the beautiful park, are you glad you got a brain? Because it's actually assessing what is going on? Or do you think you're supposed to go the other way and not think? Not have the brain working. You're supposed to hold this view that you're in a void, meaning nothing's taking place. It's called stillness. Nothing's there, etc., etc. And that's going to be the thing that allows you to get through life and have a correct understanding of life. I don't think so, because I'll tell you right now, if your understandings of life are at a point where you're holding the beliefs that cause depression and suicide and all that, the concept that life is about nothing and you are of no value and all these things ain't going to work for you.
Yeah, right.
It's going to throw you off the bridge.
Yeah.
It is not going to make you okay. It is not going to make you psychologically survive life.
So how can we differentiate between real wisdom and spiritual nonsense? Is there...
Oh, that's okay. No, that's okay, because it works out as you grow.
Very good
It's
point.
a development process.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to worry about it. All you need to understand is, right, you are growing. So what are some of the lessons in wisdom?
Sorry?
You didn't like that one. Let's do it this way. Explain the wisdom model, and that'll give some lessons in wisdom in itself.
Yeah,
Explain
right.
the wisdom model. Explain the wisdom model for measuring personal development compared to the achievement model for measuring personal development. So explain the achievement model for measuring personal. I am throwing these at you. Explain the achievement model for measuring personal development.
Okay. Well, via the achievement model, one would measure their value by the level of achievement they've had.
Hold on. Let's do it this way. First off, make it about, it's called two different models for measuring personal development. So make it about development first, right? What is the achievement model for measuring personal development?
Well, that's when people say, judge your value based on your achievements, right?
No, this one.
Is that what you mean?
This one. Measure your development based upon your achievements.
Oh, right.
So it's called the two different models for measuring personal development, right? And the achievement model is measure your development by whether or not you achieve what you wanted to achieve.
Right.
Okay. Now, in the achievement model, they also claim that your value is connected to those achievements too.
Yes. Right.
And all that comes from the "if you're good, you'll get" stuff. We can actually show that it does. Right. So yeah, that's the development model. What they're really saying is, you can only really feel good about yourself if you believe you're at the center of the universe and you can control everything. You know why? Because under the achievement model, you're going to get life to go the way you want. And nothing's allowed to interfere with it. No other people, no other things, no weather, no anything. Yeah. Okay, so no wonder they're out there very busily telling people they can have what you want. You're at the center of the universe. You can have everything you want. If you really want it, you can have it, right? Yeah. And it's really confusing. There's usually quite a room full of people there being told the same story.
Yeah.
So they're all being told they can have whatever they want, no matter what. Doesn't matter who has life. You can have whatever you want. So I wonder it doesn't start a few fights.
Yeah, what if they want the same thing?
Yeah, a bit of a problem there. Oh, no, they say you can have it. They say if you want to win Miss Universe, you can all win it.
You just got to believe.
I go, well, maybe you'll win it.
Yeah.
They say you'll win it. Strange. Anyway, yeah, so that's the achievement model, right? The wisdom model. What's the wisdom model? A little bit different.
So when you're measuring someone's development by their wisdom, their understandings about life.
Yeah, that's right. The wisdom model is completely different. The wisdom model is saying this: yep, got goals, fantastic. You're out there trying to achieve those goals, brilliant. You do that with every action you do in your lifetime. Every action you ever do in your whole lifetime represents you trying to bring into existence that which you think next should be. So in other words, you're trying to control life. So if anyone says don't try and control life, that's ridiculous. You're always trying to control life. And it's governed by your belief system. Okay, so you're out there trying to control life. You're trying to make life go the way you want. That's good. But whilst you're out there doing that, something's happening. You are having what? What are you having?
Having experiences.
Yeah, you're having events. What does that mean? You said it before. What's going on? What do you mean you're having experiences? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, data's coming into your brain. You're being subjected to data.
Yeah, you're having events. That's right. So while you're out there trying to make life go the way you want, what is happening is you're having events. What that means is you are receiving data from that which is around you. And that data which is coming from what's around you is, whether you like it or not, little bit by little bit, right, developing your understanding of what's around you. Meaning, what is taking place. It's developing your understanding of reality. And what is wisdom?
It's an accurate account of what reality is.
And what is spirituality?
It'd be your understandings about what reality is.
Yeah, right? Same thing. And what is spiritual development? What is spiritual development?
Development of wisdom, really.
Yeah, your growth in understanding of reality. And what is this big one? What is, drum roll, can't hear it. What is the spirit? That's it. What is the spirit? So we've done what is spirituality?
Yes.
What is spiritual development? And what is the spirit?
Absolutely.
No, I asked what is the spirit?
Well, the spirit in my eyes
I want you to get it right. Sorry.
is your level of understanding. It's sort of like the energy field created by that.
Yes, it all makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well done. You had to really think for that one, but you did.
Yeah, right. I didn't.
Your spirit is the energy field created by your current level of development. See, you can't disconnect the mind, body, spirit connection.
That's a good point, actually. The whole topic of spirit, when people talk about somebody has a presence, have you heard people say that? It's a sort of spiritual term. Someone walked into the room and he had this presence. Now, would that be to do with their spirit, to do with their levels of
Hold
understanding?
on. No, hold on. What are you talking about? Are you talking about a ghost walk into the room, that sort of thing?
No, no,
Or you
no.
mean no? This guy walked in.
Yeah, this guy, a real
Yeah,
person.
real live guy.
He
He's
must be
omnipresent.
really
Yeah,
spiritual. That's
yeah. You know what's really funny is another person in the room saw him and thought, "What a dickhead."
right. So I can see your point. You're saying that's still based on someone's values and the way they see that person.
Yeah,
But does
yeah.
the spirit, does that emit some sort of
No,
thing
not
that
in the slightest.
we're,
We'll
that we're
get into that. We'll get into that
aware of?
intuitive side in a minute, which does exist.